What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody is having just as great of a day as I am. Today I wanted to go over something that I think is absolutely undervalued in the video production world and is a step that most people skip, but it can save you a lot of time in editing and it just makes everything a lot easier, and that is to be organized. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you how I set up every single one of my video projects, how I organize it before it's in Premiere, how I organize it in Premiere, and why I do this. So let's jump right into it. So I went ahead and I imported all my footage, and the footage I'm using is just a couple clips from work. And the first thing I want to do is I want to create a new folder with just these items. And I'm going to go ahead and name this whatever the project I want it. So I'm just going to say trainee interview. Now I'm going to open this up, and again I highlight these, or all the footage, and I go ahead and I make a new folder with those items and I just name it footage. And then I go ahead and I create 4 more folders, and I create a projects folder, and what this folder is for all your project files. So if you're working in Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, whatever, I'm going to save all of my projects to this project folder right here, so I know where all my projects for the trainee interview is. The next folder I'm going to make is a graphics slash music, and self-explanatory, all my graphics and music are going to go inside of this bin. The next one I'm going to make is for my exports. So when everything's done, this is where I'll export it to, is this folder right here. And then last but certainly not least, I like to just create a folder for my LUTs. And what LUTs are, they're just like a color preset for your video footage. So I like to make one in the beginning and then save it here, and however many LUTs I need, I will save out their specific names and save them into this file. Now I have all my folders set up and ready to go, so I'm ready to jump in Premiere. So now that we're in Premiere, we're going to go ahead and open up a new project. We're going to title it Trainee Interview, or whatever you're calling your video. And the location, this is where your project is going to save. So we're going to go to Browse, and we're going to go to our desktop, and we're going to find that projects folder that we created earlier. We'll have that selected and highlighted, and we'll just choose that and hit OK. Okay, so now that we have our project file set up, what we want to do is we want to import our media. We want to add in our videos. So I come over here to the project tab, and I right click, I go to import, and then we're going to go to our footage file, or footage folder that we created earlier, and we're just going to highlight all 3 of those clips and import them. And there they are right there. Now that I got my footage in here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all 3 of them, right click, and hit new bin from selection. I'm going to name this bin footage. And just like our folders on our desktop, this is going to be the exact same thing. You're going to have a bin for each element of your video. So we have the footage. Now we're going to make a new bin for our sequences. And then we're going to make a new bin for our graphics slash music, and so on and so on. You don't have to make a LUTs folder on your project because they're just going to save to that initial folder that you made. They're not going to save in your project file on Premiere. Okay, so now that we've got our folder set up, I'm ready to actually build a sequence. So to do that, I like to open up the footage folder. I like to right click on any clip from that folder, and I just hit new sequence from that clip. And as you can see, it creates a timeline over here and creates a new sequence. And the first thing I like to do is take that sequence over in my project window, and I like to move it down into the sequences bin. And then I go over to the sequences bin and I immediately rename this, and this is going to be our shot select sequence, which just means I'm going to use this sequence to find all my good clips. And now I typically like to have 2 to 3 sequences. I have a shot select and a build, and sometimes I have a color sequence. So to create another sequence, I just right click on my initial sequence and hit new sequence from clip. I delete the footage that's on there because it just copies the footage that's already in this sequence. But then I come back in here and I rename it to, I'll rename this one to build. So this is where I will come after I've shot selected all of my footage, and I am ready to actually use that footage and build my sequence and build my project. So that is just a quick little way on how I set up all my projects and how I keep them organized. I highly recommend doing this. It definitely makes my workflow a lot smoother and a lot quicker. I'm not constantly looking for the right graphic or the right image or the right clip. Everything's right where I put it, organized, or right where I would expect it to be. So for all of you people out there who just can't seem to find where your footage went, or your projects just get a little messy and unorganized by the end, I highly recommend doing this. It'll save you a lot of time and you will just be a way happier editor. I hope this helps someone out there. If you found value in this, please drop a thumbs up. If you have any questions or have any requests, please drop a comment below, and I will see you all in the next video.